I'm here with Philmore Greene representing Chicago. Just got doing the set, the Hyde Park Fest. How'd that feel on the stage, man?
Felt good, man. We've been waiting on this moment for years. We put in a lot of work over the years. You know, it just feels good to be noticed by one of the top festivals in the city, in the country.
Word.
It's one of the top festivals in the country. You do one of these, you're bound to get a call from anybody. So it just feels good to have that under my resume.
You got the new project with Apollo Brown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Apollo Brown, Cost of Living, out on all streaming platforms right now. Go get that. Every streaming platform, Philmore Greene. Go get Rashid, Hadee, new album.
How that come?
It's not new, but
It's new to us. It's new to us. If you ain't heard it, it's new.
Yeah, it's new coming though.
How that shit come up with Apollo Brown? How y'all get that done? How you fuck with him? How you connect with him and shit?
Apollo Brown and Rashid Hadee go way back. Rashid Hadee put me under his wing in 2012. Just saw a hungry artist, you know what I'm saying, and invited me into his home and told me I didn't have to pay for any beats. I didn't have to just come and record. So we started out things on Sundays. We'd do it every Sunday, and then that led to us getting in the shows, and we went on a tour. And we was in Detroit for like 3 times in 1 month one time. And Apollo Brown, for the love he got for him, he came out to the shows. He obviously was a fan of the music. He asked Rashid for the blessings first, like a real motherfucker should do. And that led to, over the time, he was working on projects, and over the time, he just said it in the DMs, man, let's do a project, you and I, period. We went to Detroit, got the beats, came back, I wrote the shit, then we went back to Detroit, recorded it. 4 months later, Cost of Living was on all streaming platforms.
You pretty much described the process, but what's the difference, or is it any difference from working with multiple producers or working with one project with one producer? How was that for you? You know what I'm saying? Did you guys have, I know you got the beats and came back home, but did you guys have streamlined the concept behind it, or he just let you do your thing?
He had the beats already prepared for me. See, the Cost of Living is Apollo Brown's whole interpretation on what Chicago should sound like. His interpretation on what Chicago sounds like. He's from Detroit, so it's what he thought Chicago sounded like. So he felt I was the MC that should rhyme over those beats.
That was my question. Like, was it a concept? So that was the concept.
That was the concept.
He had a concept.
Yeah.
He brought the platform to you, and you pinned.
I pinned everything. Yeah, in a matter of two weeks. Yeah. Pinned that album in 2 weeks, man. We locked in. We went back up there and did it.
I haven't checked the whole thing out, but I checked a few joints out. You rocked a couple of them on stage. That with the common sample.
Check them all out, man. How you ain't check it all out, bro?
Man, I went through them. But at least I'm keeping it funky. I heard a few. You know how nigga, man. I heard all of it. The shit was dope. You like, what was track 10? I feel like, I ain't heard that one. Yeah, but what I heard, I was feeling it.
Thank you.
And another question I had was, how is it for the representation of Chicago? Has it been for you as far as the grind and, you know, your sound is, you know, like you said, Apollo picked you for it, but it's not, if you know what I'm saying, what people think of what Chicago from the MCs and artists is coming out here. It's it's a little bit more vivid, more detail from what you're doing, a little bit more lyrical, you know, fans, I'm being honest with you. So do you get, you know, some type of diverse type of opinion from people who think like, well, you know, especially coming from out west, because we don't got too many people that, you know, rep it like that. So, you know, do you got people that have a different idea from what you're putting out there, your concept, your perspective of Chicago? Do you got people that think different? Because when I go out of town, people just think it's just murder and mayhem. You know what I'm saying? So do you think it's different?
I mean, I don't get a lot of people that say think different, because you got guys like Common Sense, you got guys like Lupe. You know, it's conscious brothers here, but you know, it's just what you feel. When I create, man, I don't look at anybody else. I don't try to sound like nobody else. I just try to sound like myself. Everybody different. So if you be yourself, you're gonna be different automatically. You know, I'm from Chicago. A lot of my story is Chicago based, you know. So I tell stories that was in the Chicago streets and where I'm from, shit we done did, shit we done been through. So it's like, I could have been from Wyoming. If the shit happening in Wyoming, I'm gonna talk that Wyoming shit.
You just talking loud.
We from the west side of Chicago, man, and that's what we do. You know, I don't even dig into all of that, man. I just, when the beat come on, I just write what I feel. You know what I'm saying? I respect, obviously Chicago is in my music, and I rep my city hard, but when I approach the music, man, I don't say I'm gonna try to sound overly Chicago. You know what I'm saying? I just do what I feel.
That's a beautiful thing. It's a great thing to hear you say West Side of Chicago. D, what you got to add to it, man? Rashid, man, what you got to add to
As
it?
far as the artists coming from Chicago?
Just working with this brother in general.
Oh man, working with Philmore, you know, I already had my thing going on around the time we met. You know, I'm doing shows and putting out albums and everything, but I saw the potential in him from day one, you know, as to be one of the greatest MCs, because I saw him doing just that. So, you know, I was more than willing to take the time out and record songs with Philmore. Eventually that turned into albums. Eventually those turned into more albums, more shows, touring, and you know, ultimately led up to us doing a project with Apollo and performing here at the Hyde Park Fest today.
And for one thing you gotta understand about Rashid had deals. Rashid has albums. Rashid is an artist. He saw a hungry artist and he put everything he had on pause for me. He could have said that's the stigma that Chicago cats don't fuck with people. You would think we've been knowing each other for 30 years. You would think we've been knowing each other for 30 years. It's my big brother. Well, he's had deals. He's been across the country. He put everything he had on pause for me. And it's getting us where we need to go. He's still rocking his next album coming out. He got a fire joint with Elzai. He can talk about that, boy. I ain't gonna plug that, but he got a fire record with Elzai.
That day gonna come.
This is my big
music is coming.
He put everything on hold for Philly. And I love this brother. I'm forever in debt with him. You know what I'm saying?
Two things for you guys, bro. I want y'all to tell everybody again, to remind people where they find y'all shit at, you know, where y'all come. Any important information about where the fans and audience need to find you guys at.
Hey, you can find me on anything, Rashid Hadee, and any music, RashidHadee.com.
Philmore Greene, all streaming platforms, everywhere, all social media platforms, PHILMORE, and Greene with an E at the end. You can find me everywhere like that.
BlackTruth.net.
Yo, check it out. What's the deal? It's the chef. Cooling right now. Black Truth News. You know what it is.
Hi, my name is Ari Atlantic. Shout out to Black Truth News.
Black Truth News for DJ Paul. Yeah.
This is Split Star. You know what I mean? Right now you're watching Black Truth News. We tell the truth. Tell the lie right now. What's up to Black Truth News?
Yo, shout out to Black Truth News, man. It's you, go from Wu-Tang, man. Black Truth News. Y'all already know it.
What's up, this Crime Mob, and you checking out Black Truth News. Black Truth News, baby, check it out.
BlackTruth.net.